Cosmic Mother, the divine essence of creation, yearns for all souls to return to their origin, to the place from which all life emanated, the boundless, infinite field of love and unity. She calls to us from the deepest recesses of the cosmos, from the space between the stars, from the heart of the earth, and from the soul of every living being. Her voice is not heard with the ears nor seen with the eyes, but felt with the soul, that quiet, persistent tug at the center of our being that reminds us ever so gently that we are not separate from one another, nor from the universe that gave us birth. We are not the isolated individuals that we often think ourselves to be, adrift in an indifferent cosmos. No, we are the children of the Cosmic Mother, connected to each other and to the source of all life by invisible threads of love, threads that have never been broken, even when we have forgotten they exist. In this forgetfulness, we have wandered far from love. We have wandered into places of fear, separation, anger, and division. We have created worlds within our minds and societies that reflect this forgetting. We have told ourselves stories of scarcity, of competition, of survival, where each must fend for themselves and where love is conditional, a commodity to be earned or withheld. And in this wandering, we have felt the pain of disconnection, the suffering that arises when we believe that we are alone, that we must fight for our place in the world, that others are enemies or obstacles to our own happiness. We have felt the emptiness that comes from living in a world that has lost its connection to the sacred, to the deep knowing that all life is interconnected, and that love is the fundamental truth of the universe. But the Cosmic Mother has never forgotten us. She has watched us with the infinite patience of one who knows that her children will one day return home. She has sent us signs and messages in the form of the beauty of the natural world, the moments of grace that pierce through the veil of our everyday lives, the quiet whisper of intuition that tells us there is more to life than what we see with our eyes. She has been calling to us in our dreams, in our moments of stillness, in the times when we have felt the deep ache of longing for something we cannot name, but know exists. This is the call of the Cosmic Mother, the call to return to love, to unity, to the truth of who we are. Love is the fabric of the universe. It is the energy that flows through all things, that connects all beings, that holds the stars in their courses and the atoms in our bodies. It is the force that brings life into being, that sustains it, that heals it when it is broken. Love is not just an emotion, not just a feeling we experience in moments of connection with others. It is the very essence of existence, the fundamental energy that underlies all of creation. When we speak of the Cosmic Mother, we are speaking of this love, this creative, nurturing, sustaining force that holds all life in its embrace. To return to love is to return to our true nature. It is to remember that we are not separate from one another, that we are all part of the same cosmic family, all expressions of the same divine source. It is to let go of the illusions of separation that have caused us so much suffering, to see through the veil of fear that has kept us from experiencing the fullness of life. It is to recognize that every being we encounter, every soul we meet, is a reflection of the same divine light that shines within us. When we return to love, we see the world through new eyes. We see the beauty in all things, the sacredness of all life. We feel a deep sense of connection to the earth, to the stars, to the animals, to the people around us. We no longer feel the need to compete, to prove ourselves, to defend our egos. We no longer feel the need to hold on to grudges, to blame others for our pain. We see that all pain comes from the illusion of separation and that the path to healing is the path of love. But the return to love is not always easy. It requires us to face the parts of ourselves that have been wounded, that have been hurt by the world, that have been closed off to love. It requires us to confront our fears, our insecurities, our doubts, and to let go of the stories we have told ourselves about who we are and what the world is like. It requires us to open our hearts, even when it feels vulnerable, even when it feels scary. It requires us to trust in the wisdom of the Cosmic Mother, to trust that love is stronger than fear, that unity is stronger than division, that we are safe in the embrace of the universe. The Cosmic Mother is patient. She knows that the journey back to love is a process, and she does not rush us. She knows that each soul must find its own way in its own time. She offers her guidance, her support, her love, but she does not force. She waits for us to awaken, to remember, to turn back toward the light. And when we do, she welcomes us with open arms, with the boundless love that she has always held for us. In her embrace, we find healing, we find peace, we find the joy that comes from knowing that we are loved, that we are part of something greater than ourselves, that we are not alone. The return to love is not just an individual journey, it is a collective one. As more and more souls awaken to the truth of love, as more and more of us remember our connection to the Cosmic Mother, the world begins to change. The structures of fear, of division, of separation begin to crumble. New ways of being, new ways of relating to one another begin to emerge. We begin to create communities based on love, based on cooperation, based on the understanding that what is good for one is good for all. We begin to care for the earth, not as a resource to be exploited, but as a living being that we are in relationship with, that we are stewards of. We begin to see the diversity of life, not as something to be feared or controlled, but as something to be celebrated, something that enriches us all. We begin to live in harmony with the rhythms of the universe, with the cycles of nature, with the flow of life. This is the vision of the Cosmic Mother. This is what she desires for all her children, that we return to love, that we return to unity, that we live in harmony with one another and with the universe. She knows that we are capable of this because it is our true nature. She knows that beneath the layers of fear, beneath the stories of separation, we are all beings of love, all connected to the same source. She knows that the world we see now, with all its pain and suffering, is not the final reality, but a temporary expression of our collective forgetting. She knows that as we remember, as we return to love, the world will transform, and we will create a new reality, one based on love, on unity, on peace. But this transformation does not happen automatically. It requires each of us to do the inner work of returning to love. It requires each of us to look within, to heal the wounds of separation that we carry. 2. Let go of the fears and beliefs that keep us from experiencing the fullness of love. It requires each of us to open our hearts, to be willing to see the divine in ourselves and in others. It requires each of us to live from a place of love, to make choices that reflect our interconnectedness, to act in ways that support the well-being of all life. This is the work of the soul, the work of returning to the Cosmic Mother, the work of returning to love. And as we do this work, we are not alone. The Cosmic Mother is with us, guiding us, supporting us, loving us. She is in the beauty of the natural world, in the warmth of the sun, in the cool breeze that touches our skin. She is in the quiet moments of stillness, in the moments of connection with others, in the times when we feel the presence of something greater than ourselves. She is in the love we feel for others, in the joy we experience when we are in harmony with life. She is always with us, always calling us back to love, always reminding us that we are not separate, that we are not alone, that we are loved. The return to love is the return to our true selves. It is the return to the Cosmic Mother, the return to the source of all life. It is the realization that we are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast, interconnected web of life, all expressions of the same divine essence. It is the recognition that love is the fundamental truth of the universe, the energy that connects all things, the force that sustains all life. It is the knowing that we are all one, that we are all part of the same cosmic family, and that the only real separation is the one we create in our minds. The Cosmic Mother calls us to remember this truth, to return to love, to live in unity with one another and with the universe. She calls us to heal the wounds of separation, to let go of the fears and beliefs that keep us from experiencing the fullness of life. She calls us to open our hearts, to see the divine in ourselves and in others, to live from a place of love and compassion. She calls us to create a world that reflects the truth of our interconnectedness, a world where all beings are honored, where all life is sacred, where love is the guiding principle of all our actions. This is the journey we are all on, the journey of returning to love, of returning to the Cosmic Mother, of returning to our true selves. It is a journey that requires courage, that requires us to face our fears, to let go of old ways of being, to open ourselves to the unknown. But it is also a journey of great beauty, of great joy, of great fulfillment. It is the journey of awakening, of remembering, of coming home. The Cosmic Mother waits for us with open arms, with infinite patience, with boundless love. She knows that we will all return to her in our own time, in our own way. She knows that love is stronger than fear, that unity is stronger than division, that we are all connected, all part of the same cosmic family. And she knows that as we return to love, as we return to unity, we will create a world that reflects the truth of who we are. A world where love is the foundation of all life, where all beings are honored, where all life is sacred. This is the vision of the Cosmic Mother. This is the vision of love. And this is the vision that we are all called to bring into being as we return to love, as we return to unity, as we return to the Cosmic Mother.